Good evening, everyone. For you serious troopers that survived the crap of the first 5 seasons to all you newcomers, I have now reached the triple-digit mark. Thank you very much to everyone who has subscribed, and I'm excited to see where the channel goes from here. You guys' reward will be given out within a few months, but right now my plate is full. Thank the Lord that dreams exist, because without them I don't think I could keep the BBM series going for that long. But it's not just my dream. There are other things about the Marines that I would like to discuss in general. You see, if you're one that just wants to be yourself and do whatever the damn you please, like all this funky ass crap, the Marines are not for you. All the men that are there, I don't know about the women, but all the men have very thin hair, and they often speak in code only. Like, if you were just to go walking into their base, you're not gonna hear stuff like, "Yo, dog, what we gonna do at my crib tonight?" There's none of that at all. And I'm the kind of guy that has some disorders, so I would definitely not make the cut. Nor would I want to, because I know very little about how the military works, that it almost feels kind of pointless to make this episode. All I really understand is—
Now you do love the Virgin Mary, don't you? Sir, negative, sir! Private Joker, are you trying to offend me? Sir, negative, sir! Sir, the private believes that any answer he gives will be wrong, and the senior drill instructor will beat him harder if he reverses himself, sir!
Exactly! I couldn't relate better. What are you trying to get me to do? There's a whole article online listing phrases that only people in the Marines would understand and use on a regular basis. One term would be, let's break it down, Barney-Style. What in God's name? Basically what it means is whenever a recruit doesn't know what to do and they ask their colonel or general or whatever, they usually just sit their ass down and speak it to them in slow motion. And they basically just treat them like they're some sort of baby ass. You know, like Barney. And then after reading that, I was like, what? We're bringing the dinosaur into the equation? I thought you guys were better than that.
Hey, wait a minute. Are you smoking back there, Billy? Yeah, what's it to you? Well, I hope you brought enough for the whole school bus. Come on, pass them round.
I mean, yes, these military generals are trained to be really hardcore. And that's kind of the point, because the fate of the whole freaking nation kind of lies within their hands. So we can't just have babies running the show. But I'm pretty sure there's a difference between being rough to the gut and just being a dick. And I believe this would classify as the latter. Like, what was the problem with just giving me a few sheets of paper that lists the instructions that I need to do? What is the point of this whole place it's on top of hill bullshit? Like, come on, I'm not as much of a dumbass as I look. And you guys have probably seen the video of the Marine that burned his uniform because he got pissed off with his court sentence or something like that. Yeah, he said there was a woman that was trespassing on his land and he had asked her to leave a few times, but she refused. And then she called 911 and was all like saying, "This guy is chasing me with a knife," or some crap. You can get in really huge trouble for lying to the cops. Don't do it. But on the unfortunate side of things, when they were at court, the judge, who was a woman, just shot the guy a dirty look and just pleaded him guilty. So yeah, this guy is pissed, and rightfully so. But how is this the uniform's fault? He was saying stuff like, "This nation has failed me." The nation didn't do shit, it was the stupid bitch's fault. You know, because apparently women are always innocent, and it's always the man's fault. It's a bunch of bullshit, and if any dumb sluts are watching this that believe that, guess what? But for all you cool people that know that that's not the truth, let's continue. But yeah, you never judge a particular person because they have some sort of advantage over the other people. Kinda reminds me of that time when I was 14, and I was at my aunt's parents' house with my cousins. The second oldest kid was like 7 years below me, and it only got younger from there. But when they opened the door to her parents' bedroom and decided to just look around and crap, the aunt comes upstairs and is like, "Kale, explain to me why that door is open." I'm like, why don't you ask them? They're the ones that did it. So yeah, as you can tell, this is a bit of a pet peeve of mine. And I know for certain I'm not the only one. But, back to the Marines. If I wanted to know more about that, I would ask my step-uncle. He's the kind of guy that walks around the pumpkin patch with his young daughter and niece and wears a big shirt that says, "I serve" on it. I'm sure he's very proud to be able to wear that, and we're pretty happy for him. But are we gonna get on with this dream or not? So basically, the dream I had was at 3-something in the morning on September 18th. This dream utilized people in real life from my school. And I don't usually do this, but just so you'll have a better understanding on who I am referring to, I'm gonna say what their actual names were. This is not something I normally do, but it wouldn't kill anything, and there's a first for everything, so let's just do it. My verdict on whether or not these people were cool will be left out of the video. But it begins with me and this Asian Korean kid named Michael in the middle of some field. No context at all on how we got there, we were just there. Not long later, a guy in some sort of like small one-person vehicle who was wearing a basic camouflage uniform drives up to us. I was thinking to myself, aw shit, we're about to get yelled at, but he was really just asking if we were lost or not, in which Michael replied we were. So Michael got on the guy's back because it was a one-person vehicle and they took off, but he didn't give me time for me to get on. I was like, we're together, and he said, you can just follow, so whatever, I did that. It's not like the car went that fast anyway, and in less than a minute, we were already at their base, which apparently we couldn't have seen from where we were before. I may have blurry vision, but I'm not blind. And also, did Michael really need to get onto your back and let you drive him there? Like, why couldn't we both just walk? Anywho, their base was basically just a bunker that was inside of a hill. We just walked on in, no passcode or nothing, we just went in there. And we got to look around for a minute. It was sort of like a big fancy garage more than anything, and there was hardly anything to it. So in comparison to real life, if you ask me, these guys were noobs. Anyway, there were other kids from my school that were there, and Michael and I got paired up with a kid named Nick. Now, there were two Nicks, but the one I'm referring to has a last name that starts with O. The other one was F. Yeah, apparently students were getting put into groups to take down the enemy. I was considering telling these guys that maybe, possibly, we are not commissioned, and that we have disorders. But I wanted to see where this was going. They told us it was a cold environment, so we would need a coat and gloves, and I'm thinking like, crap, we're bringing gloves into it now? Maybe I really am in hell. But it was only really the coat I needed because they couldn't even tell that I wasn't wearing the gloves, so we're fine, we're fine. They showed my crew and I the tent we would be using to sleep in up in the snowy mountains. And I was the first one to choose the cot I wanted to sleep on. I was like, so I get to choose. And the colonel was like, yes. So I was like, okay, how about this one in the front right? So I walked over to it, but the colonel was like, no, no, no. And they let my crew members pick first. And I'm like, I thought you said I got to go first. You're just choosing the front left for me. What's the point of even asking? There were a total of 4 cots in the tent, but only 3 of us, so I'm assuming the cot that went unused, they just took out for another crew to use. So yeah, as you can imagine, me having no knowledge of any branch of the military, Army, Air Force, Navy, or Marines, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know what our jobs were, nor did I know how to carry them out. But you would not believe I was actually excited in the dream to get this thing started. Like, who would have thought being in the military would be fun? Like, who? I was asking Michael, so what is this, like the army or something? And he said, this is the Marines. And I'm like, oh shit, we're getting hardcore up in this bitch, let's go! But then, out of literally nowhere, the school bus comes and picks all the students up. This was a field trip? I was getting so pumped up and crap. We all got on the school bus and another kid, Skylar, who was like the funny guy. He was like, man, that really blew new waters there. And I'm like, yeah, when I saw that guy pull up, I was like, oh shit, a colonel. And we just start laughing. And as per usual, the dream ends completely abruptly. But what exactly are they going to do to accomplish our goals in the Himalayas or wherever without us? I mean, you'd think that us students in high school would just be getting in their way because we're all a bunch of noobs. Actually, now that I think about it, that was probably the reason. Damn it!